on 101.5 KFGM. Missoula, Frenchtown, the Bitterroot, and around the world. On the world at 101.5. On the world at 101.5 KFGM. 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 On the world at 101.5 KFGM.org at 101.5 KFGM.org at 101.5 It's so great to be back on the air with you all. This summer has been just flying by. So busy. Each day, its own unique adventure. So hectic, flustered, frantic, smoky, and beautiful. Sometimes it feels as if I'm not living life so much as life is living me.
It is said that in Ulthar, which lies beyond the river Sky, no man may kill a cat. And this I can verily believe as I gaze upon him who sitteth purring before the fire. For the cat is cryptic, and close to strange things which men cannot see. He is the soul of antique Egyptus, and bearer of tales from forgotten cities in Meroe and Ophir. He is the kin of the jungle's lords, and heir to the secrets of hoary and sinister Africa. The Sphinx is his cousin, and he speaks her language, but he is more ancient than the Sphinx, and remembers that which she hath forgotten. In Ulthar, before ever the burgesses forbade the killing of cats, there dwelt an old cotter and his wife who delighted to trap and slay the cats of their neighbors. Why they did this I know not, save that many hate the voice of the cat in the night, and take it ill that cats should run stealthily about yards and gardens at twilight. But whatever the reason, this old man and woman took pleasure in trapping and slaying every cat which came near to their hovel, and from some of the sounds heard after dark. Many villagers fancied that the manner of slaying was exceedingly peculiar. But the villagers did not discuss such things with the old man and his wife, because of the habitual expression on the withered faces of the two. And because their cottage was so small and so darkly hidden under spreading oaks at the back of a neglected yard. In truth, much as the owners of cats hated these odd folk, they feared them more, and instead of berating him as brutal assassins, merely took care that no cherished pet or mouser should stray toward the remote hovel under the dark trees. When through some unavoidable oversight a cat was missed, and sounds heard after dark, the loser would lament impotently, or console himself by thanking fate that it was not one of his children who had thus vanished. For the people of Ulthar were simple, and knew not whence it is all cats first came. One day a caravan of strange wanderers from the south entered the narrow cobbled streets of Ulthar. Dark wanderers they were, and unlike the other roving folk who passed through the village twice every year. In the marketplace they told fortunes for silver, and bought gay beads from the merchants. What was the land of these wanderers none could tell, but it was seen that they were given to strange prayers, and that they had painted on the sides of their wagons strange figures with human bodies and the heads of cats, hawks, rams, and lions. And the leader of the caravan wore a headdress with 2 horns and a curious disc betwixt the horns. There was in this singular caravan a little boy with no father or mother, but only a tiny black kitten to cherish. The plague had not been kind to him, yet had left him this small furry thing to mitigate his sorrow, and when one is very young, one can find great relief in the lively antics of a black kitten. So the boy whom the dark people called Meanies smiled more often than he wept as he sate playing with his graceful kitten on the steps of an oddly painted wagon. On the 3rd morning of the wanderer's stay in Ulthar, Meanies could not find his kitten, and as he sobbed aloud in the marketplace, certain villagers told him of the old man and his wife, and of sounds heard in the night. And when he heard these things, his sobbing gave place to meditation, and finally to prayer. He stretched out his arms toward the sun and prayed in a tongue no villager could understand, though indeed the villagers did not try very hard to understand, since their attention was mostly taken up by the sky and the odd shapes the clouds were assuming. It was very peculiar, but as the little boy uttered his petition, there seemed to form overhead the shadowy, nebulous figures of exotic things, of hybrid creatures crowned with horn-flanked discs. Nature is full of such illusions to impress the imaginative. That night the wanderers left Ulthar, and were never seen again. And the householders were troubled when they noticed that in all the village there was not a cat to be found. From each hearth, the familiar cat had vanished, cats large and small, black, grey, striped, yellow, and white. Old Crannan, the burgomaster, swore that the dark folk had taken the cats away in revenge for the killing of men's kitten, and cursed the caravan and the little boy. But Nith, the lean notary, declared that the old cotter and his wife were more likely persons to suspect, for their hatred of cats was notorious and increasingly bold. Still, no one durst complain to the sinister couple, even when little Attal, the innkeeper's son, vowed that he had at twilight seen all the cats of Ulthar in that accursed yard under the trees, pacing very slowly and solemnly in a circle around the cottage, 2 abreast, as if in performance of some unheard of rite of beasts. The villagers did not know how much to believe from so small a boy, and though they feared that the evil pair had charmed the cats to their death, they preferred not to chide the old cotter till they met him outside his dark and repellent yard. So Ulthar went to sleep in vain anger. And when the people awaked at dawn, behold, every cat was back at his accustomed hearth. Large and small, black, grey, striped, yellow, and white, none was missing. Very sleek and fat did the cats appear, and sonorous with purring content. The citizens talked with one another of the affair, and marveled not a little. Old Crannan again insisted that it was the dark folk who had taken him, since cats did not return alive from the cottage of the ancient man and his wife. But all agreed on one thing: that the refusal of all the cats to eat their portions of meat or drink their sources of milk was exceedingly curious. And for 2 whole days the sleek, lazy cats of Ulthar would touch no food, but only doze by the fire or in the sun. It was fully a week before the villagers noticed that no lights were appearing at dusk in the windows of the cottage under the trees. Then the lean Nith remarked that no one had seen the old man or his wife since the night the cats were away. In another week, the burgomaster decided to overcome his fears and call at the strangely silent dwelling as a matter of duty. Though in so doing he was careful to take with him Shang the blacksmith and Thul the cutter of stone as witnesses. And when they had broken down the frail door, they found only this: 2 cleanly picked human skeletons on the earthen floor, and a number of singular beetles crawling in the shadowy corners. There was subsequently much talk among the burgesses of Ulthar. Zath, the coroner, disputed at length with Nith, the lean notary, and Crannan and Shang and Thul were overwhelmed with questions. Even little Atul, the innkeeper's son, was closely questioned and given a sweetmeat as reward. They talked of the old cotter and his wife, of the caravan of dark wanderers, of small Menes and his black kitten, of the prayer of Menes and of the sky during that prayer, of the doings of the cats on the night the caravan left, and of what was later found in the cottage under the dark trees in the repellent yard. And in the end the burgesses passed that remarkable law which is told of by traders in Hatheg and discussed by travellers in Nir, namely, that in Ulthar no man may kill a cat.
I guess they make them down there.
Come on in, Mike. be the right time.
Uncle?
You might be in the
Uncle?
right place.
Uncle?
Yep, that's right.
Is that you, Uncle Skip?
It's
Uncle?
me.
Is that you, Uncle Skip? Uncle? You, Uncle Skip? Is that you, Uncle Skip? Uncle? You, Uncle Skip?
Sure as the fire smokes. Sure as. Yep, back again. Boy, sure is great to be back in the studio with my favorite radio DJ, Dr. Fly. It's an honor and pleasure.
The honor, pleasure, it's all mine.
Well, looks like we got some mutual enjoyment happening, and ain't that the best?
Yeah.
Well, I heard the reports came back. The good boys and girls, the bad boys and girls, the old folks, young folks, everybody did all right with that last story. 'Cause it was
Gambling Hansel.
Gambling Hansel.
You really laid it out for us.
Oh, boy. Yeah, just think about old Gambling Hansel. Really gets me going.
He was a troubled soul, but he was relatable.
Yeah. Once you get that confidence going, you can really do anything. Well, that's why I came back. Because I got another one.
No way.
I do.
I thought you were just coming to hang out.
I mean, just about any time I come to hang out, I wind up telling story. I'm a storytelling guy, you know.
You're gonna spin us a yarn?
I'm gonna spin you a yarn. Yeah, this one. If you liked that game on Hansel, boy, oh boy, will you enjoy the tales of Brother Lustig? Without really any ado about it, I do hear.
I don't need any ado.
I don't need none either. I don't need to pointlessly talk about nothing.
I don't.
Especially when we got Brother Lustig to talk about.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know this guy.
Well, might as well just jump right in and get right to it, huh?
Well, yeah. We don't need to dilly or dally.
No dalliance is required
Yeah.
when you got a great story. And what is great about this story, a great story does, the dilliances and the dalliances are included within. It's like this one. So, once upon a time, there was a great war. And at war's end, all of the soldiers from far and wide were discharged. And upon dischargement, all soldiers were awarded a small loaf of bread and 4 cruises of money. And that is exactly what Brother Lustig received upon his dischargement. So he took his small loaf of bread, took his 4 cruises, began his journey home. Now, not too far along on his journey was he visited by none other than St. Peter himself. St. Peter took the guise of a poor beggar. When Brother Lustig approached, St. Peter disguised as the poor beggar asked for some change. Brother Lustig said, "With what am I to give you? For all I have is this small loaf of bread and these 4 cruises of money. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'll break this small loaf into 4 pieces. That way you can have 1 small piece, and I'll give you 1 cruiser, and that way you have something." St. Peter, disguised as the beggar, thanked him. Brother Lustig went along, only to be visited once more by St. Peter, this time disguised as another beggar. St. Peter, disguised as this beggar, asked him again for some help. Brother Lustig described his circumstances the same way and gave this poor beggar 1 piece of bread, 1 cruiser, and went on his way down the path. What do you know? Brother Lustig was visited by another St. Peter in disguise beggar. Brother Lustig spoke to him the same way, gave him a piece of bread and a cruiser. A good guy that Brother Lustig is.
Too generous, some would say.
Luckily, the next thing Brother Lustig saw was an inn. And he said, "All right, I'll come sit at the inn, eat my piece of bread, and with my last cruiser, I'll order a cruiser's worth of beer to wash it down with." Nothing like a 1 cruiser worth of beer after a great war to eat your remaining piece of bread with. And after he was done eating his bread, drinking his cruiser's worth of beer, Brother Lustig said, well, off to hit the road myself. And not too far outside of the inn, Brother Lustig spotted another fellow discharged soldier, but this discharged soldier was our old pal, St. Peter, in another disguise. Guess what this discharged soldier asked Brother Lustig for?
Bread?
Bread and money. Brother Lustig said, with what am I to procure it with, brother? For I am too a discharged soldier, and I was only given one small loaf of bread and 4 cruisers. I was stopped by 3 beggars on the way to the inn, gave them all a piece of bread and a cruiser, and with my last cruiser I ordered a pint of beer and ate my last piece of bread. But if you have nothing, and I too have nothing, it looks like we can go a-begging together. St. Peter replied, no, we won't have need for that, for I know a bit of medicine, and soon enough I'll be able to procure as much as I'll need through those means. But Brother Lustig did not know medicine, and he said, well, since I do not know medicine, looks like I'll have to hit the road on my own. Best of luck, brother. St. Peter told him, why toil yourself? Why don't you come with me? And whatever I earn, I'll give you half. Well, Brother Lustig said, well, let's go then.
Yeah, finally some good news.
And joined him on their journey. Not too far down the road on their journey, they came across a peasant's house where there was much weeping and anguished yelling. St. Peter led the way, and they entered the house. And they found a woman, an old woman, anguishing, tormented over her love, the love of her life, her husband, her old husband, who was infirm, ill, nearing death. St. Peter said, stop that wailing, woman. Bring the man to me, I will heal him. So she brought the old man, St. Peter, and he pulled out a salve from his pocket. Applied the salve to the man's chest, and he was revived instantly. The woman said, we must reward you. And St. Peter said, I will take nothing. At that point, Brother Lustig nudged St. Peter and said, do take something. And when the woman insisted, she brought out a sheep and said, please take this sheep. And St. Peter said, no, we couldn't take that. Brother Lustig
Dropping them all.
poked St. Peter in the side and said, do take it, for we have great want for it. And St. Peter said, fine. If you insist, we will take the sheep, but I will have no part in carrying it. Brother Lustig.
That's fair.
Brother Lustig, if you want the sheep, you can carry it. Brother Lustig said, fine, of course I'll take the sheep. And we'll eat it later. So off they went.
Don't tell the sheep.
Don't tell the sheep. Yeah, the sheep's just get a free ride on Brother Lustig's shoulders. But now, down the road, I mean, you're carrying a sheep with you, a couple miles. It starts to grow a little heavy. Brother Lustig grew weary, and they came to a clearing that looked a good enough spot to set up camp. So Brother Lustig said, here looks good, we can set up camp. St. Peter said, fine. And Brother Lustig said, I'm ready to eat this sheep. And St. Peter said, yes, we can cook the sheep, but I will take no part in the cooking of it. If you can cook the sheep, here is a kettle. Begin cooking it. I'm going to take a walkabout. Do not begin eating the sheep until I return. I will return when the time is right. Brother Lustig said, well, then be gone then. Take your walk. I know the ways of cookery. I can cook this sheep.
What recipe was he gonna do?
Chopped. So he chopped up the sheep, put it in the kettle, and began cooking it. I think, it's a kettle, so of course there's water, like it is like boiled. It's boiled
Nice
sheep.
braise.
Boiled sheep meat. And maybe he had like a bouillon,
Probably.
in his sack. No, he probably didn't though, because the Great War,
The Great Bullion War.
Yeah, I mean, any spices any soldiers had probably were long gone. So he's boiling up the meat. And sure enough, after a while, it's good and ready. But St. Peter said not to eat it till he returned, for that would be the right time. Brother Lustig is a little conflicted because it felt like the right time to him. So he just starts to, kind of stirring the pot when he sees the heart, the lamb's heart. And he couldn't think about anything but his good buddy, his war buddy. His buddy from war had told him, the best part of a sheep is its heart. And then his war buddy died. As soon as he said, you want to know a secret? The best part of a sheep is its heart. And that was the end. So here Brother Lustig is looking at the heart, and he's curious. He's curious about a great many things. But what he was most specifically curious about was, 1, where is St. Peter? And 2, was my war buddy correct? Is the sheep's heart the best part? Brother Lustig decided he could not wait any longer, and he decided to take a little nibble of the sheep's heart, and boy, was it ever delish. And soon enough, the entire heart was gone. Right at that point, when the last smackerel of heart meat was licked off the lips of Brother Lustig, St. Peter returned, and he said to him, bring me the sheep's heart. That is the only part of the sheep I'd like to eat. The rest you may have yourself. So Brother Lustig began curiously looking through the kettle to try to find the heart, as if the heart wasn't there. He had a perplexed look on his face. And then he had a moment of cleverness where he looked at St. Peter and said, but what fools are we to search for the sheep's heart? For we both forgot a sheep has no heart.
Oof.
That certainly is news, said St. Peter. For how does a sheep have no heart if all animals have hearts? No. If you think about it really deeply, then you'll see that a sheep truly has no heart. Well, in that case, I want none. You may eat what you want of the sheep, and then pack up and let's go. So Brother Lustig ate half the sheep, and he packed the rest in his sack, put his sack on his shoulders, and off they went. Now, not very far down the road, St. Peter made a stream appear in front of them. You go along first, said St. Peter. No. Why don't you go ahead first, St. Peter? Brother Lustig said, knowing that if it was too deep, he wouldn't have to cross. So St. Peter crossed the stream, and it crossed his ankles. It got up to his knees, and he made it safely across. So Brother Lustig then attempted to cross the stream, when very soon it reached his knees, then his waist, and then his nipples, and then it got up to his chin, and he said, Help me! And St. Peter said, then you'll tell me that you ate the sheep's heart?
Oh, man.
Brother Lustig said, No, I didn't eat it. And the water rose up to his lips. Help me! Brother, help me! And then you will confess that it was you who ate the sheep's heart? I didn't do it. I didn't do it. St. Peter would not allow Brother Lustig to drown, so he reseeded the waters and let Brother Lustig safely cross. On the other side of the stream, they began getting word, as they entered a new kingdom, that the king's daughter was quite ill, and the king was willing to do anything to reward whoever could help his daughter, the princess. Well, do hurry, let's go! We can grow fabulously rich if we help her, said Brother Lustig, but St. Peter was quite the slow poke. He moved at a slow pace, despite all of Brother Lustig's enthusiastic coaching to hurry along. It even got to the point where Brother Lustig is pushing St. Peter, and St. Peter's just digging his heels in. So finally, they receive word. The princess died.
Oh, man.
Right as they got to the castle. Great, way to go. Now you've ruined it. Now we'll never get rich, said Brother Lustig. Ugh. Not to worry, said St. Peter, for I will bring her back to life.
He's done it before.
He's done it. He can do it. It's St. Peter. He came from heaven. He's got heaven powers. So he goes in front of the king and he says, bring me to the room where your daughter is and leave me. Only my friend may be in the room. And the king left them both in this room. Marble in concrete castle. Bank, some room. Maybe has banquets sometimes, but now he's got a dead princess. He's got Brother Lustig and St. Peter, disguised as a discharged soldier. So, St. Peter begins chopping up the princess. Trigger warning. And put the pieces of her limbs into a kettle. Boiled the meat until the bones fell off the meat. Laid all of the bones down on the ground in their proper order. Placed an herb on the skull and said thrice, in the name of the Holy Spirit, beautiful girl, arise. After saying this thrice, the woman took her human form, healthier than ever. The king, obviously, was very pleased with this and said, for helping bring my beloved daughter back to life, I'm giving you half my kingdom. I'm doing it. It's yours. It's yours. And St. Peter said, that will not be necessary. No reward for me.
What's this guy's deal?
Brother Lustig said, "Boy, you idiots! You idiots! Surely we can grow to whatever riches we desire. Please take something from him." So the king, upon seeing Brother Lustig get such a rise, suggested that maybe he could fill Brother Lustig's knapsack with gold. And St. Peter said, fine, like, why not? Let's do it, let's go. And so he fills Brother Lustig's knapsack with gold, and they get along, they make out a little bit on the way outside of the castle. Once they get to the woods, St. Peter says, all right, hand me the knapsack, I'm going to divide the gold. I'm going to divide our share. And then he made 3 piles with gold. One for Lustig, one for himself, and one for the person who ate the sheep's heart.
He's really holding on to this.
And upon hearing this, Brother Lustig said, "Oh, that's easy. I ate the hearts." St. Peter asked, "But how could you eat the heart if a sheep has no heart?" "A sheep has a heart? What are you, a frickin' idiot? Every animal's got a heart, you sucker." "Every animal's got a heart, you sucker." "Well, take your 2 shares and be gone, Lustig. This is where I can join you no further." And Brother Lustig said, fine, dude. I mean, like, you tell me one thing and then you show another thing. Like, you sure are a crazy saint, man. Like, good luck. Like, I'm going to go my way. So St. Peter and Brother Lustig went their separate ways. And it was only a matter of time before Lustig either spent his money, gave away his money, invested, squandered, whatever. And after some time, it was gone. He was out of money. Lucky for Lustig, though, he ran out of money in a kingdom with a very sick princess. So sick indeed that she died. And once she died, Lustig said, oh, hot dang, I know how to bring her back. So he tells the king, let me in a room with your dead daughter, leave me alone, I'm going to bring her back to life. Now, this king had heard about a discharged soldier who was bringing princesses back to life. He thought that Lustig was his guy. So he left him in the room. Lustig gets a kettle, chops up the princess, puts her limbs in the kettle, boils it till the meat falls off the bones. But then he begins to struggle in putting the bones in the right order. He doesn't know. He doesn't know which backbones to put where.
I don't think I could do that.
No, it would be very difficult. There's a lot. Yeah, I didn't take A and P. And so the bones were not in the right order. Lustig puts the herb on her skull, says thrice, in the name of the Holy Spirit, beautiful woman, arise. And nothing happens. Says it a fourth time, a fifth time. Says, confound it, woman, just get up or I'll make it the worse for you. And at this point, St. Peter hopped in the guise of his discharged soldier, through a window in the back of the room. Lustig, what are you doing this time? St. Peter says. She says, this confounded woman won't get up. He says, well, how could anyone get up when you've arranged the bones in such a confusing order? So he began at work laying the bones in the right order, placed the herb on the skull, said thrice, in the name of the Holy Spirit, arise, beautiful woman. She took her heavenly form and was alive again. St. Peter said, Lustig, I helped you out of this one. Now, you must promise me that you will not accept any money in exchange for this, or you'll be in deep trouble with me. Lustig said, all right, be gone. And so St. Peter hopped out through the window where he came, and Lustig went before the king. And the king said, you name it, buddy, you got it. I will give you 3/4 of my kingdom, for you brought the only thing back to me that matters. What do you want? And I will give it to you. Now, Lustig remembered what St. Peter said. And so, through a bit of cleverness, he was able to fill his sack with money from the king. Something probably along the lines of saying like, all right, I don't want you to fill this sack with money. Whatever you do, don't fill this sack with gold. And so, of course, the king did, and he even got to the point where the king ordered him to take it. And Lustig said, well, if I'm ordered to, I can't disobey an order. He's king. So he walks down he thanks the king for, the sack full of gold, walks down to the woods, and St. Peter arrives and says, what is this? I told you couldn't accept anything. Lustig said, well, what am I to do if the king ordered me to take it? And St. Peter at this point says, if I don't help you, you won't be able to help yourself. I know this money is going to go away soon enough. So here's the deal. As soon as that money's gone, because I cared for you, whatever you want, all you have to do is say it, and it will arrive in your backpack. You just say, this thing that I want, get in my backpack, and it will be in. And Lustig said, oh, sweet, dude. sounds good to me, but I got this sack full of gold. I'm not really worried, about your bone washing business anymore. And so he went on his way. And yeah, after, not that long, all the money was gone. Then Lustig got pretty hungry, of course, after spending his last dollars on some beer in an inn, where he saw some delicious-looking roast geese, these 2 roast geese hanging right behind the bar. And he said, boy, that sure would be nice. So he walked out of the inn, got to stand underneath a little tree on a hill, and talked to his empty sack and said, those 2 roast geese, get in my sack now. Boop. And just like that, boom, those 2 roast geese were in his sack. He sucked one down pretty quick, just as these 2 soldiers were walking up the hill, and he realized, I can't eat the other half. I can't eat this other goose. Might as well give it to these guys. So those guys thanked him, and they walked into the inn. Just as at the inn, they were looking for those roast geese.
Oh boy.
And they said, you thieves! You're in serious trouble. And they said, what? We were given this goose by a discharged soldier. Old Lustig gave us this goose. And they said, no. He drank his beer and he paid. He's a good man. You lie. And so they were dealt with by the innkeeper. Now, after this, Lustig didn't care. He just went on his way. And then he got to a peculiar situation. There was a kind of like a rundown inn across the street from a glorious castle-looking estate. He went to the glorious castle estate, which was empty. And he asked, why is this glorious castle estate the same price as that rundown hotel on the other side of the street? This looks far superior. The dude that ran the castle estate said, well, because this place is hella haunted, dude. No one has ever survived a night here. And Brother Lustig said, well, looks like I got a chance to be famous in this town. Book me a room, buddy. So I gave him, like a little pebble, which is all it cost. And then so he laid down in this room, had nothing in it except for a chair. Had a chair, no bed. He just laid down next to the chair, put his head on his little sack. When he heard some creepy ass noises, like all kinds of haunting noises, and he lit the little match that was in the room, and to his surprise, he found 9 little devils ready for some fighting. And right away, Lustig grabbed that chair and said, bring it, devils. Starts swinging the chair around to the left, to the right. And every time Lustig would swing at one devil in front of him, a devil would be on his back, ripping his hair, and chomping his neck. And he's kicking, he's chopping, he's kicking behind him as he's punching in front of him. He's doing windmill kicks. He's doing 360 just bonanza ultimate punches. And then those devils would not give up. So after a good bit of fighting, Lustig said, geez, boy, you never quit. All you 9 devils, get in my sack now. And boop, all 9 devils wound up in his sack, and they're fighting, they're coming out of here, but they're not getting out. And Brother Lustig just kept punching them until his sack was quiet, laid down, used it as a pillow. In the morning, the dude that runs the castle inn was like, what? How'd you survive? And he said, hey, listen, you don't gotta worry no more. I got you. Brother Lustig's got you, baby. And the guy who ran the inn said, hey, man, stay here forever. Come on, keep me safe. Lustig says, no, I must go. I must go on my way. On his way, he did. And he had many, many adventures. Lustig. It's Brother Lustig, dude. All the dude does is have adventures. If you knew him, you'd know the adventures. I'm going to skip a lot of his adventures, get to the point where Lustig is an old man. Old enough to contemplate What comes beyond this life? So he found the guru who meditates on the hill. The guru on the hill said, "The road to heaven is narrow and rough, but the road to hell is wide and easy." And Lustig said, "Well, why trouble on a narrow, rough road when you can take it easy?" So he took the wide, easy road until he got to the gates of hell. And he said, "Well, I guess this is my new home." And he knock, knock, knock on the metal door. And it's kind of like a speakeasy style kind of thing. There's like a little sliding window door. And who else was guarding the door? Oh, wait. Yes, that's right. I forgot to tell you. After he left the inn, he took the sack to a blacksmith and said, "Hey, blacksmith, chink, 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 chink. Get your hammer and just hammer this sack until all these devils are dead in my bag." All of them were except for one. One of them ran away and just got to hell as fast as he could.
Oh, there was an escapee.
There was one escapee. Yeah, he was in a fold of the sack. And it just kind of like, just made it, no matter how many anvil, hammer whacks. He was
the sacksmith.
Was
going for it.
Yeah, and they thought they were good. They opened it up. But the one hightailed it back to hell as fast as he could.
Uh-oh.
And then, so since that guy kind of got demoted because he messed up, and so he was just the doorman. So Lustig gets to the door, and this is years and years and years later. He's still got a black eye, the devil who's the door guy. And at first sight of seeing Lustig, boom, he books it. He tells the big man, he tells everyone inside, "This guy, if he comes in here, we're all in trouble." And so, Satan, big devil, says, "Well, don't let him in. Duh, let God freaking deal with him." So they said, "All right." So they locked the door. They said, "Lustig, you're not allowed here." And Lustig said, "Well, fine. All right, fine." So that he was just pissed that he had to now go take the narrow, rough road. So he's taking the narrow, rough road. He's like tripping on some pebbles and stuff, really, he's not even picking his feet up high enough. He's kind of making it worse for himself. You know how sometimes your attitude goes a long way, they say, Yeah. So he's trudging along on this narrow, rough road until he gets to the gates of heaven. And he runs into his old pal, St. Peter. And Brother Lustig said, it's good to see an old pal. And St. Peter said, "I don't know what business you think you have here, but you have none. You are not allowed to come through the gates of heaven." And Lustig said, "Well, what sport you are then? Tell you what, if you don't want me, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Here, take this old sack that you gave me years ago." And he tossed the sack through the bars of the gates of heaven, and it landed right on a hook right behind St. Peter. St. Peter said, "Well, thank you." And right then, Brother Lustig said, "Knapsack, knapsack, put me inside of you."
Crafty.
And instantly was inside his knapsack, pulled himself out, and gained access to heaven forever. The end.
They just let him stay?
Yeah, screw St. Peter, dude. He's such a nerd. He's such a nerd, dude. St. Peter, dude, he needs to freaking relax. Yeah, let Lustig in, dude. He killed the devils, dude.
Yeah, I approve of the moral of this story.
100%, dude.
St. Peter's a nerd.
St. Peter is a nerd, dude. Stay tuned. Next time Uncle Skip comes around, I'll give you another example of why St. Peter is such a nerd. Remember him in Gambling Hansel? He was like, "Oh, he's gonna be stopped. He's gonna be stopped." St. Peter is like, "Dude, you stole all his money, dude, or you took all his like Lustig. I don't blame Lustig, dude. He's just trying to get his."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At one point, Lustig did say, I left this out. He says, like, what you give with one hand, you take away with the other. You take me on this journey with you. You tell me you're going to give me half. Half of nothing is nothing, dude. Yeah, shit.
That's true.
Yeah. Brother Lustig, though.
Well, Uncle Skip, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey.
This has just been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
It was quite the journey.
I mean, I did break you off a little slice a couple months ago up on the mountain, but that was only
Oh yeah.
maybe a 30% telling.
Well, would you grace us with one final message? I'm gonna swing the magical microphone your way.
All right, yeah.
And I just want you to just, if you can,
Yeah.
give our listeners just one more piece of advice, or maybe not even advice, just a message
Yeah.
or a piece of encouragement
Skip wisdom.
or discouragement if that's what they
Some
need.
people need, yeah. A lot of ways you can go by. Indeed. There's a lot of ways you can go about taking your life. But it's best to take it in the direction that most makes sense to you. Then, go all in with it. You know? One more time for the slow folks. There are a great and many way you can take your life in the journey thereof, but it is best to go direction that makes the most sense to you, and then go all the way. I did just get a report somebody was in the bathroom. So I'll tell you this one more time. I did just get a report somebody was in the bathroom. There is a great and a many way you can go about living your life, but it's best go the direction that makes the most sense to you. And then go all in. And then go all in. All the way. All the way. No half stepping. All the way. No half stepping. All the way. No half stepping. When you know. No half stepping. When you know. No half stepping. When you know. All the way, baby. All the way. That's all. It ain't why. 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 It is. It just is. It just is. Go to bed for crying out loud. Sleep. Go to bed for crying out loud. Sleep. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee. Go to bed for crying out loud. Make sure you go pee-pee.